rock stars, welcome back to Aurifil Color Builders. Here in July we are working on our Sumatran tiger, and I'm doing something a little bit different today. I decided to go ahead and stitch in the ditch before we even talk about our topic for the month. Now, after I get all this ditch stitching done, I'm going to be talking to you about massage quilting, but sometimes we have to do some securing of our block in order to understand exactly what kind of wonkiness we're dealing with. Now, as I'm going to show you in real time here in just a moment, I chose to stitch around key elements of my tiger's face so that he'll be nice and secure and those features will stand out. There's a lot of piecing on this block, so I decided that a simple stitch in the ditch was going to be my best way to go. Okie dokie, so now you can see I finished stitching in the ditch around this tiger. I did not stitch every single seam line, but kind of chose strategically ones that I thought the shape of his face really needed in order to stand out. So you can see along this side, I've got a few of his stripes across the top and his ears, stripes down this side, and then I put a lot of detail around stitching around the area around his nose. This gives some dimensionality to his face from the front, and it's just going to make the whole thing pop a little bit more as we stitch down this background. Now, we're going to go for a super simple background. We're talking about massage quilting this month inside of the Aurifil Color Builders. And I got to be honest with you, I thought that there was going to be a little bit more wonkiness around the edges of this block, and it came out flatter than I expected for something that has so many seams and so many pieces that had to join together. Nonetheless, you can see there's a little bit of ease around these edges. And because there is not so much wonkiness as I was expecting, we can actually pick a simpler motif. So if this was super, super wonky, I would definitely go for that feather crown around our tiger. But because it's not, I'm going to go for a simpler background and do a tight little loopy meander all the way around his head. A loopy meander, as the name suggests, is just like doing a meander, except that you're going to add little loop-de-doops in it. Some folks find this actually clicks easier for their brain when they're learning free motion quilting. So if you're trying to start out on your journey and you're just having trouble getting good curves on your regular meander, try switching to the loopy meander. I like to alternate directions of my loops and just see if this motif makes more sense to your brain. As you can see, just little curly cues, and we're going to fill in all the way around. Notice as I'm working this loopy meander, I am kind of working my way back and forth so that if there are any little pockets of ease, I'm not moving in one direction for too long. I'm not moving towards the center or the side, but I kind of am going back and forth and doubling back on myself. One, that helps all of the stitching look a little bit smoother in terms of not quite being able to tell where I started or I finished, but it reduces the chances of any ease building up too much in one place and causing any kind of crease. Again, this block actually laid flatter than I had expected it to, which is always great news. But if you do have a little bit of ease, changing up that direction is going to help spread it out, help your stitching kind of eat it up, if you will, and just massage it flat. Think of this like if you were to lay a piece of fabric down and run your hands over it. If you just ran your hand over a piece of fabric in one direction, from one side to the other, you'd be pretty likely to end up with a crease going that direction. But if you put your hand in the middle and worked kind of in circles or in fits and starts out from the middle, you could rub your hand all over that piece of fabric without it causing any kind of creases or wrinkles or huge movements in the fabric itself. We want to essentially be doing this with our quilting as we're massaging the fabric. It's moving all over it in a pattern so that any ease or looseness gets gently coaxed flat instead of being harshly moved into place, resulting in a crease. And just like that, our sweet tiger is all framed and stitched down and ready for trimming and binding.